Okay, Councillor McCord, we're live now.
Okay. Yeah, it has gone 6 o'clock. So good evening. Welcome to the West Northamptonshire Shadow Senior Appointments Committee meeting. She's now joined us again. She dropped her connection. Item 1, apologies for non-attendance. Apologies for non-attendance.
Received apologies from Councillor Chris Lofts, and I understand that Councillor Golby is in another meeting. Will join us as soon as he can.
Indeed. Any others?
None others received, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Notifications to address the meeting, Paul?
None received, Chair.
Okay. Any declarations of interest? No, nothing interesting happening. There are no announcements, but I do notice we have a couple of members who are not members of the committee. So if you do have something burning that you want to say, I'll ask you in. So item 5, our substantive item, selection and appointments process for the senior and statutory officers. Who's introducing this?
I can, Chair.
All right, Martin.
Evening, councillors. My name is Martin Cox, and I'm the unitary lead for corporate, and with the responsibility of supporting the task and finish group and this committee. The paper you have before you is an outline of the proposed selection appointment for the permanent and statutory officers. We have been recruiting for 5 senior roles: the West's new chief executive, the Director of Finance and the Chief Finance Officer, called the Section 151 Officer. The Director of Legal and Democratic Services is also the Statutory Monitoring Officer. The Director of Adult Social Services and the designation, the Director of Adult Social Services, and the joint role with North Northamptonshire of Children's Services, which has the designation of the Director of Children's Services. Those 5 roles have been advertised since the end of May, and we are getting to the process now of the applications coming in. And this paper directly covers the proposed selection process in August and September. You'll see that the Task and Finish group has met twice on the detail of this and shaped this paper and these proposals. And these proposals follow what I would call an open and inclusive process. It identifies the subcommittees of this Senior Appointments Committee who will take the decisions to be ratified by the Shadow Council itself. It also outlines in the section 5 to give you an idea of why it's an open inclusive process, as we will be setting up panels to invite our stakeholders, other members who have an interest in this particular role, and also our employees and trade union representatives. So all that will feed into our selection process with the panels proposed in 431 down to 435. So if I can bring your attention to the recommendations are that we agree the process to appoint these roles through the panels I've just outlined in section 4.3. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any comments? Jonathan?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Just to comment briefly, really, the Task and Finish group has considered the whole issue of this recruitment very carefully. As far as I can see, the report thoroughly summarises those points, which are about doing a very thorough process, but also inclusive process in terms of the councillors involved in panels and so on, but also wider stakeholder and employee groups. So I would only comment that I'm very happy to support the report. Thank you.
Oh, Chris is joining us. Anybody else? Danielle?
Can I say thank you for the report? I think it's a really good summary of everything that we said and everything that we want from the process. I think it is as inclusive as we possibly could make it, and I agree with the recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. Do John or Graham wish to say anything as you've bothered to join us tonight? I'm quite happy if you've got any comments. Thank you for coming along as well.
Yes, only two really. I've seen in the diary an interview date in August. Is there a timetable between now and then? And of course, I would expect someone's going to be publishing the various bits of paper, the job specifications and that sort of thing that have been given to candidates. Presumably those are available now.
I believe the part specification and the job spec are available. They've been online, haven't they, as part of the microsite? So yeah, you can get them. I see Marie and Martin nodding. I presume that means I've not said anything that's wrong.
No, and I'll just add, Councillor, that obviously in anticipation of the agreement here, we've tried to sort of put holds in people's diaries because obviously we're contacting a lot of busy people. So getting a space in the diary just makes it more practical should we agree the paper here. So yes, there will be detail coming once we get down to the short list and we'll send you the job description and person spec we're recruiting against.
Yeah, how many meetings do you reckon will be required between now and the interview day?
Well, there'll be a long list and a short list process effectively. So if you are part of the main appointments panel, then you'll be involved in them. If you're on part of a stakeholder panel, then it'll be just the dates in August. So we try and vary it, but where we decide who joins the panel, that's the shortlisting, and that'll be undertaken by the committee names there. So apart from a couple of councillors that are on numerous of the panels, we've tried to limit and make sure that it's possible for people to attend.
Thank you.
Graham, do you want to say anything? Are you happy just to observe?
I'm quite happy just to observe it, and thank you very much.
Thank you for your attendance.
Listening and learning.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Chris, have you swallowed that bar? I don't want to come to you with your mouth full. Sorry. I saw you munching on your tea there. So, sorry, you're on mute, my friend. You're on mute.
Sorry, Ian. I finished munching now. Thank you.
No, but do you want to say something? I just didn't want to come to you if you don't.
No, I'm okay. I'll be watching. Watching and listening. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Richard, are you happy with this?
Yeah, no problem at all with it. So I had it came through a while ago, didn't I? I had a good read of it this afternoon. Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
All right. Well, in which instance then I will move the recommendations set out 2.1 and 2.2. The Senior Appointments Committee agrees to discharge the function of appointing the senior appointments to a subcommittee here and ensuring that at least one member of the shadow executive is in the membership, and the committee agrees to delegate authority to that subcommittee through the shortlisting and the interview suitably qualified applicants and recommend the most suitable person for the position. And the interview panel comprises 6 members for each of the roles advertised, with the exception of the Director of Children's Services, which is a joint role, which will have 3 from us and 3 from the North. And the proposed members of the panel are as set out in section 4, and the committee agrees the proposal to engage a number of stakeholder panels as part of the recruitment, as noted in section 5. Are we agreed? Agreed.
Happy with
Agreed.
that? Yep. Agreed.
Thank you. That is carried. Let's go back to the agenda. There are no exempt items at item 6, and I've had no notification of any urgent items for item 7. So at 11 minutes past 6, I will close the meeting. Thank you all for your attendance and safe home.